Sometimes people don't want the truth. Because truth doesn't knock. It kicks in the door and torches the illusion. Friedrich Nietzsche knew that. They told you love would save you. That it would be pure, redemptive, unconditional. That you would appear and make the shadows disappear. The ones you've never dared to face alone. From bedtime stories to pop songs. They whispered a lullaby to your subconscious. One day, someone will come and make everything okay. And you believed them. Not because you're weak. Not because you're naive. But because no one handed you the scalpel to dissect the lie. But what if that promise was never meant to be kept? What if the love you've been taught to crave isn't salvation, but strategy? And what if Nietzsche, the philosopher they told you to fear, didn't hate love? He just saw through it. He didn't write fairy tales. He wrote autopsies, slicing through masks, myths, and the soft lies we wrap around our egos. When he looked at love, at women, at how we relate, what he saw wasn't polite. It wasn't safe, but it was real. And most men still aren't ready. Here's the truth. You don't love her. You love the reflection she casts back at you. You love the way she validates your existence. You call it love, but it might just be emotional dependency with good lighting. Because validation isn't love. It's leverage. And women, they learned long ago how to thrive in the shadows of power. No sword were offered, so they mastered the invisible outs. Influence, silence, emotional calculus, not out of malice, out of necessity. While men chase thrones, women learn to move the throne without ever sitting on it. But you still confuse softness for sincerity, adaptability for innocence. You think she's tender because she's pure, but it's power, refined, disguised, and deadly accurate. You call it vulnerability when you spill your soul. She calls it a map, because while you're dreaming of soulmates, she's measuring risk, calculating need against control, weighing desire against influence. Not to hurt you, to survive you. She doesn't fight fair. She doesn't need to. The one who sees a game and never speaks of it wins. And you were raised to worship the illusion, to chase the good girl, the healer, the angel. But those are roles, masks, and she wears them because they work. Nietzsche didn't expose the myth to shame women. He did it to confront men. Men who keep chasing comfort over clarity, who would rather be handled than awakened. You're not being loved. You're being managed. And the worst part? You like it. You crave the anesthesia. Because facing yourself without her reflection, that's the abyss. And you've never learned to stand at the edge without flinching. You don't want a partner. You want a solution. So you bargain. If I give you my heart, will you fix the parts I buried? And while you speak of love, she listens not to your words, but to your wounds. Every confession becomes a pressure point. Every insecurity, a doorway. She doesn't invade. She inhabits. Quietly, permanently, strategically. Nietzsche saw it. Love isn't always unity. It's often leverage. Who needs less, controls more. You pour out time, identity, loyalty. You call it devotion. She gives just enough to keep you craving. She calls it connection. But it's not connection. It's choreography. She doesn't lead with orders. She leads with desire. She doesn't argue. She shapes. And that's not manipulation. It's mastery. You call her mysterious, but she's just focused, observing, sensing the dynamic, playing it like a grandmaster plays the board. You thought you were conquering, but she was directing the scene. You thought you loved her, but you loved the script you wrote for her. And when she stopped performing, you called her cold, but she wasn't cruel. She was just done acting. Nietzsche didn't damn women. He condemned men who never grew up. Men who wanted muses instead of mirrors. Angels instead of humans. If you're done blaming her, look inward, not with guilt, but with clarity. And from clarity, something radical begins. Not the death of love, but its rebirth. You were taught that selfless love is noble. But what if that selflessness is a mask? What if beneath the poetry, there's a quiet fear? If I don't give her everything, she'll leave. So you offer more, shrink more, bleed more, not out of love, out of terror. This isn't bravery. It's submission wearing a tuxedo. And she doesn't need to control you, because your orbit around her speaks louder than commands ever could. Love rooted in need is never equal. You call her your center. She never asked to be. You just handed it over. And when the pedestal cracks, you don't lose her. You lose yourself. Because it was never love you were guarding. It was the myth that made you feel whole. She was the stage. You were the actor. And now the stage is gone. Nietzsche would whisper, "You never loved her. You loved who you were in her gaze." And now the mirror's gone. And all you're left with is silence and truth. She didn't betray you. She just stopped playing along. So now you have a choice. Keep chasing the mask, or meet the person behind it. But only when the myth dies can the revolution begin. Not against her, not against love, but against the delusion that made you forget who you are.